let's get into the Freeman Mazda stat of the week here on Primetime. Freeman Mazda stat of the week. We're going to take a look at the Cowboys defensive tackle room, because even though we're not going to get into, how many sacks or pressures Ozo Odighizuwa had, or maybe Neville Gallimore, I think that today's Freeman Mazda stat of the week kind of drives home the point that the Cowboys have a lot of open spots at the defensive tackle position. Because according to ProFootballReference.com, the second highest defensive tackle snap count, which is behind Osa's 53% snap count, is Neville Gallimore's 35% of the snaps. That is a very low number, kind of surprisingly so, in my opinion. And it talks volumes about how, even though the Cowboys, there was a report out there this offseason that, promising defensive lineman Neville Gallimore is going to be back in Dallas. But the promising defensive lineman was inactive for a playoff game this January. And it kind of just drives home the point that even though there are some names that we already know quite well, like Osa, like Neville Gallimore, even Quinton Vohana and Jonathan Hankins, these players have played very little time for the Cowboys. Here are the 2022 snap counts for the defensive tackles. Let me read them to you. You get Osa, who we already mentioned. Osa had 54% snap counts. Neville Gallimore was at 35%. Quinton Vohana was at 23%. And then you get Tryson Hill at 12%. Jonathan Hankins, 10%. Obviously, some of these players, we should also mention, there was health. The health factor was involved. So some games missed here and there for some of these players. But clearly, Dallas needs a defensive tackle. So the question from me to you on tonight's Freeman Mazda stat of the week is, from 1 to 10, how likely do you think is it for Isaac to crack the 53-man roster? Let me know in the chat. What do you think about that? And while you give me your answers, and before I give you mine, let's talk about our friends over at FreemanMazda.net, because as always, we need to discuss their car dealership over at Irving, Texas. A family-owned business, has been so for over 65 years, and you can check out their wide range of new and used vehicles over at their website or the dealership, FreemanMazda.net. As always, we also need to discuss the ride of the week. In this case, it is the new 2024 Mazda CX-90 3.3 turbo premium all-wheel drive. This one starts at $51,495. It's got all-wheel drive, Wi-Fi hotspot, a sunroof, third row sitting, Apple CarPlay / Android Auto, and a fuel capacity of 24 miles per gallon in the city. That goes up to 30 when you are in the highway, so you'll get to your destination without breaking the bank. Make sure that you check out FreemanMazda.net. They make this show possible, and more important than that, they make the Freeman Mazda stat of the week possible as well.